그래서 벌 준 거야? 그래서 벌 준 거니? 네가 나 벌 준 거야? 그게 벌 받을 짓이야 내가? 응? 기억이 바뀌기 전에는 기억이 바뀌기 전에 잊어버린다고 나는. 항상 이렇게 잘 먹는 거야.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 1. And Yahweh called unto Moshe, and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the assembly, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahweh, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make an atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, and the priests, Aharon's sons, shall bring the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aharon the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aharon's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward, before Yahweh and the priest. Aharon's sons shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards of the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all, and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yahweh be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves, or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 2.
And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh, made by fire. And if you bring an oblation of meat offering, baken in the oven, it shall be matzah cakes of fine flour, mingled with oil, or matzah wafers anointed with oil. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. You shall part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yahweh. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh, made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yahweh shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of Yahweh made by fire. As for the oblation of the firstfruits, ye shall offer them unto Yahweh, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of your meat offering shall ye season with salt, neither shall ye suffer the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your meat offering. And all your offerings you shall offer salt. And if you offer a meat offering of your firstfruits unto Yahweh, you shall offer the meat offering of your firstfruits, green ears of grain dried by the fire, even grain beaten out of full ears. And you shall put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten grain thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 3.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or a female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat thereof, and the whole rump. It shall he take off hard by the backbone. and the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, and the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the sons of Aharon shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering, made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yahweh's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 4. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he has sinned, a young bullock, without blemish unto Yahweh, for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh, and shall lay his hands upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Yahweh, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yahweh, which is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. As it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, with his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp, unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole assembly of Yasharel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the assembly shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the elders of the assembly shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Yahweh, and the bullock shall be killed before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yahweh, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is set before Yahweh, that is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler has sinned, and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh, Elohiah, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty. Or if his sin, wherein he has sinned, come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goats, and kill it in the place where they killed the burnt offering before Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, which he does somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin, which he has sinned, come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for the sin offering in the place where they killed the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 5.
And if a soul sin, and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he is not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he has committed 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons unto Yahweh, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto Yahweh, It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as touching his sin, that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's, as a meat offering.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance, in the holy things of Yahweh, then he shall bring for his trespass unto Yahweh a ram without blemish, out of the flocks, with your estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make the amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the fifth part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin, and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandment of Yahweh, though he knew it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred, and knew it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He has certainly trespassed against Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 6. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul sin, and commit a transgression against Yahweh, and lie unto his neighbor, in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or has deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lies concerning it, and swears falsely, in any of these that a man does, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertains, in the day of his trespass offering. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done in trespass therein.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire has consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out. And this is the Torah of the meat offering. The sons of Aharon shall offer it before Yahweh, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahweh. And the remainder thereof shall Aharon and his sons eat, with matzah, unleavened bread, shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly, they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offering made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aharon shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations, concerning the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. Everyone that touches them shall be holy.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
This is the offering of Aharon and his sons, which they shall offer unto Yahweh in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning, and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, And when it is baken, you shall bring it in, and the baken pieces of the meat offering shall you offer for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest of his sons, that is anointed in his stead, shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto Yahweh. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon and to his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahweh. It is most holy. The priest that offers it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, you shall wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it was sodden shall be broken. And if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering, whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the assembly, to reconcile withal in the holy place, shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 7.
Likewise, this is the Torah of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer it of all the fat thereof, the rump, the fat that covers the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one Torah for them. The priest that makes atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offers any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has offered. And all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan, and in the pan, shall be the priest's that offer it. And every meat offering mingled with oil, and dry, shall all the sons of Aharon have, one as much as another. And this is the Torah of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahweh. If he offer it for thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving matzah, unleavened cakes, mingled with oil, and matzah wafers, anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil, of fine flour, fried. Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering hametz, leavened bread, with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation, for a heave offering unto Yahweh, and it shall be the priest that sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow, or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offers his sacrifice. On the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the 3rd day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offers it. It shall be an abomination. And the soul that eats of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto Yahweh, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat, of ox or of sheep or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dies of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beast, may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eats the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, even the soul that eats it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul it be that eats any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, He that offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Yahweh shall bring his oblation unto Yahweh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hand shall bring the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. The fat with the breast it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Yahweh. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aharon's and his sons'. And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aharon that offers the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Yasharel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aharon the priest, and unto his sons by a statute forever, from among the children of Yasharel.
This is the portion of the anointing of Aharon, and of the anointing of his sons, out of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto Yahweh in the priest's office, which Yahweh commanded to be given them of the children of Yasharel, in the day that he anointed them, by a statute forever throughout their generations. This is the Torah of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which Yahweh commanded Moshe in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Yasharel to offer their oblations unto Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Take Aharon and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of matzah, unleavened bread, and gather all the assembly together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly.
And Moshe did as Yahweh commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Moshe said unto the assembly, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded to be done. And Moshe brought Aharon and his sons, and washed them in the water. And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the belt, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him. And he girded him with the belt of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim and the Tumim. And he put the turban upon his head. Also upon the turban, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aharon's head, and anointed him, to sanctify him. And Moshe brought Aharon's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with belts, and put bonnets upon them, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering, and he slew it. And Moshe took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moshe burned it upon the altar. But the bullock, and his hide, and his flesh, and his dung he burnt with fire without the camp, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moshe burnt the head, and the pieces, and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moshe burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moshe took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aharon's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aharon's sons, and Moshe put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the rump, and the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of matzah that was before Yahweh, he took 1 matzah cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. And he put all upon Aharon's hands, and upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And Moshe took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And Moshe took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Yahweh. For of the ram of consecration it was Moshe's part, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aharon, and his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aharon, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moshe said unto Aharon and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and there eat it, with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aharon and his sons shall eat it. And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the assembly in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he has done this day, so Yahweh has commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly day and night 7 days, and guard the watch of Yahweh, that ye die not. For so I am commanded. So Aharon and his sons did all the things which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 9. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moshe called Aharon and his sons and the elders of Yisrael. And he said unto Aharon, Take a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Yahweh. And unto the children of Yisrael you shall speak, saying, Take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today Yahweh will appear unto you. And they brought which Moshe commanded before the tabernacle of the assembly. And all the assembly drew near and stood before Yahweh. And Moshe said, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Yahweh shall appear unto you. And Moshe said unto Aharon, Go unto the altar, and offer your sin offering, and your burnt offering, and make an atonement for yourself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make an atonement for them, as Yahweh commanded. Aharon therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aharon brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took a handful thereof, and burnt it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the rump, and that which covers the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver, and they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right shoulder Aharon waved for a wave offering before Yahweh, as Moshe commanded. And Aharon lifted up his hand toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and peace offerings. And Moshe and Aharon went into the tabernacle of the assembly, and came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of Yahweh appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out from before Yahweh, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their face. Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aharon, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahweh, and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh. Then Moshe said unto Aharon, This is that Yahweh spoke, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aharon held his peace. And Moshe called Mishael and Elishaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aharon, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they went near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And Moshe said unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest the wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Yashrael, bewail the burning which Yahweh has kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe. And Yahweh spoke unto Aharon, saying,
Do not drink wine, nor strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when ye go into the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Yasharel all the statutes which Yahweh has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe.
And Moshe spoke unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, Take the meat offering that remains of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And ye shall eat it in the holy place, because it is your due, and your sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire, for so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you, for they be your due, and your sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Yashrael. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be yours, and your sons with you, by a statute forever, as Yahweh has commanded. And Moshe diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aharon, which were left alive, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the iniquity of the assembly, to make an atonement for them before Yahweh? Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. Ye should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. And Aharon said unto Moshe,
Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahweh, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of Yahweh?
And when Moshe heard that, he was content. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 11. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe, and to El Aharon, saying unto them,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parts the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud, among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he chews not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination, the eagle, the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckow, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goes upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things, which have 4 feet, shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. And whosoever bears aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. The carcass of every beast which divides the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor chews the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that touches them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goes upon his paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean unto the evening. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you. Among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, the mouse, and the tortoise, after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole, these are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever touches them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the evening. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, does fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel, where into any of them that falls, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water comes shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every vessel shall be unclean, and everything whereupon any part of their carcass falls shall be unclean, whether it be oven or range for pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be clean, but that which touches their carcass shall be unclean. And if any part of their carcass falls upon any sowing seed which is to be sown, it shall be clean. But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that touches the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the evening. And he that eats of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. He also that bears the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. And every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goes upon the belly, and whatsoever goes upon all fours, or whatsoever has more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them shall ye not eat, for they are an abomination. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creeps, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. For I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. For I am Yahuwah, that brings you up out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your Elohim. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the Torah of the beasts, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moves in the waters, and of every creature that creeps upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten, and the beast that may not be eaten.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 12. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, and born a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity, shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon, or a turtle dove, for a sin offering, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, unto the priest, who shall offer it before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the Torah for her that has borne a male or a female. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 13. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and El Aharon, saying,
When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh, like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto El Aharon the priest, or unto one of his sons the priests. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, Then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he has been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreads in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that has the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looks, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. But when raw flesh appears in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again, and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned unto white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that has the plague, he is clean. The flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. And in the place of the boil, where there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white, and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest. And if, when the priest sees it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy, broken out of the boil. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burns have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is an inflammation of the burning. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest shall look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague of the skull 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, and the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that has the skull 7 days more. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the skull, and behold, if the skull be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. Sight at a stay, and that there is a black hair grown up therein, the skull is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. If a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look and behold, if the bright spot in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, he is clean. And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet is he clean. And he that has his hair fallen off from the part of his head towards his face, he is forehead bald, yet he is clean. And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish in the bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appears in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean, his plague is in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him shall he be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone, without the camp shall his habitation be. The garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment or a linen garment, whether it be in the warp, the woof of linen, or of woolen, whether in a skin or anything made of skin. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment or in the skin, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed unto the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague, and shut up it that has the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in a skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a fretting leprosy, it is unclean. He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen, anything of skin wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if the priest shall look and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on the plague after that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed his color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire. It is a fret inward, whether it be bare within or without. And if the priest look and behold the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rend it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a spreading plague. You shall burn that wherein the plague is with fire. And the garment, either warp or woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which you shall wash, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed the 2nd time, and shall be clean. This is the Torah of the plague of leprosy, in a garment of woolen or linen, either in warp or woof, or in anything of skins, to pronounce it clean, or to pronounce it unclean.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 14. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
This shall be the Torah of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp. And the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them, and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off, and shall wash his clothes. Also shall he wash his flesh in water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 he-lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3/10 deal of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil. And the priest that makes him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall take 1 he-lamb, and offer him for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest's, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest shall offer the sin offering, and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness, and afterwards he shall kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor, and cannot get so much, then he shall take 1 lamb for a trespass offering to be waved, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, and a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering, and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put of that oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves, or of the young pigeons, such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the Torah of him, in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertains to his cleansing.
And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and unto El Aharon, saying,
When ye are come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession, and he that owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seems to me there is, as it were, a plague in the house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it, to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones, and put them in the place of those stones. And he shall take other mortar, and shall plaster the house. And if the plague come again, and break out in the house, after that he has taken away the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goes into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the evening. And he that lies in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eats in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague has not spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. But he shall let go of the living bird out of the city into the open field, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the Torah for all manner of plague, of leprosy and scald, and for the leprosy of a garment, and of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean, and when it is clean. This is the Torah of leprosy.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 15. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe, and to El Aharon, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, when any man has a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue. It is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lies that has the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sits shall be unclean. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that sits on anything whereon he sat that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that touches the flesh of him that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if he that has the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And what saddle soever he rides upon that has the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And whomsoever he touches that has the issue, and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And the vessel of earth that he touches which has the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that has an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahweh unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the evening. The woman also with whom the man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything that she lies upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sits upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flower be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lies shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lies, all the days of her issue, shall be unto her as the bed of her separation, and whatsoever she sits upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Yasharel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the Torah of him that has an issue, and of him whose seed goes from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that has an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lies with her that is unclean.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 16. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe after the death of the 2 sons of Aharon, when they offered before Yahweh and died. And Yahweh said unto El Moshe,
Speak unto El Aharon your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aharon come into the holy place, with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen belt, and with the linen turban shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the assembly of the children of Yasharel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aharon shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats, and present them before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahuwah, and the other lot for Azazel. And Aharon shall bring the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be for Azazel shall be presented alive before Yahweh, to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for Azazel into the wilderness. And Aharon shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Yahweh, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahweh, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat, and before the mercy seat. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanness of the children of Yasharel, and because of their transgressions, in all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the assembly, that remains among them in the midst of their uncleanness. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the assembly, when he goes to make an atonement in the holy place, until he comes out, and have made an atonement for himself, and for his household, and for all the assembly of Yasharel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Yasharel. And when he has made an end of reconciling the holy place, and the tabernacle of the assembly, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. And Aharon shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Yasharel, and all their transgression in all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities, unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aharon shall come into the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth, and offer his burnt offering, and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that let go the goat for Azazel shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, and whose blood was brought in to make an atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins, and their flesh, and their dung. And he that burns them shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourns among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Yahuwah. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. And the priest, whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the assembly, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for all the people of the assembly. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Yasharel for all their sins once a year.
And he did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 17. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon, and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, This is the thing which Yahuwah has commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Yasharel, that kills an ox, or lamb, or goat, in the camp, or that kills it out of the camp, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, to offer an offering unto Yahuwah before the tabernacle of Yahuwah, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. To the end that the children of Yasharel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto Yahuwah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto Yahuwah. And priests shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahuwah, at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto Yahuwah. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. And you shall say unto them, Whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the strangers which sojourn among you, that offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, to offer it unto Yahweh, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eats any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eats the blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the soul of the flesh is in the blood. He and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood of him that makes an atonement in the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasharel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunts and catches a beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasharel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eats it shall be cut off. And every soul that eats that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. Then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 18. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh Elohim. After the doings of the land of Mitzrayim, where ye dwell, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and guard my ordinances, to walk therein. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall therefore guard my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahuwah. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahuwah. The nakedness of your father, or the nakedness of your mother, shall you not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's woman shall you not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, the daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter, or of your daughter's daughter, even their nakedness you shall not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness. The nakedness of your father's woman's daughter, begotten of your father, she is your sister, you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach to his woman, she is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law, she is your son's woman. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's woman, it is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shall you take her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness, for they are your near kinswoman. It is wickedness. Neither shall you take a woman to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime. Also you shall not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Moreover, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's woman, to defile yourself with her. And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shall you profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. You shall not lie with mankind, as with womankind. It is an abomination. Neither shall you lie with any beast, to defile yourself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomits out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore guard my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourns among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye guard my ordinance, that ye commit not any of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 19. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto all the assembly of the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yahuwah Elohaikum, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and guard my Shebathol. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten Elohim. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahuwah, ye shall offer it at your own will. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow. And if aught remain unto the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable. It shall not be accepted. Therefore everyone that eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the hallowed thing of Yahuwah, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, ye shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, neither shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. And you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shall you profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. You shall not defraud your neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with you all night until the morning. You shall not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor. You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people, neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahuwah. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall in any wise rebuke your neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. You shall not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuwah. Ye shall guard my statutes. You shall not let your cattle gender with a diverse kind. You shall not sow your field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon you. And whosoever lies carnally with a woman that is a bondmaid, betrothed to a man, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before Yahuwah, for his sin which he has done, and the sin which he has done shall be forgiven him. And when ye come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise Yahuwah withal. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor practice sorcery. You shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall you mar the corners of your beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahuwah. Do not prostitute your daughter, to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Ye shall guard my Shabbathot, and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahuwah. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am Yahuwah Elohim. You shall rise up before the gray head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. And if a stranger sojourn with you in your land, ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwells with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For ye were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am Yahuwah Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. Therefore shall ye guard all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them. I am Yahuwah.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 20. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Again you shall say to the children of Yasharel, whosoever he be of the children of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Yasharel, that gives any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he has given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he gives of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a-whoring after him, to commit whoredom with Molech, from among their people. And the soul that turns after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be ye holy, for I am Yahuwah Elohim, and ye shall guard my statutes, and do them. I am Yahuwah Mekodishkim. For everyone that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. And the man that breaks wedlock with another man's woman, even he that breaks wedlock with his neighbor's woman, the man and the woman that breaks wedlock shall surely be put to death. And the man that lies with his father's woman has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man take a woman and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach unto any beast, and lie down thereto, you shall kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he has discovered her fountain, and she has uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. And you shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, nor of your father's sister, for he uncovers his near kin. They shall bear their iniquity. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's woman, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless. And if a man shall take his brother's woman, it is an unclean thing. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. Ye shall therefore guard all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein, spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manner of the nation, which I cast out before you. For they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give unto you to possess it, a land that flows with milk and honey. I am Yahuwah Elohim, which have separated you from other people. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. A man also, or a woman that has a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 21. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Speak unto the priests, the sons of Aharon, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister a virgin, that is nigh unto him, which has had no man, for her may he be defiled. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief among his people, to profane himself. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard,